Morning guys, I'm Mark Howard. Today we're going to go over stoppies, how to do them safely, how to have better control, proper braking, body position, and then we'll even briefly touch on some advanced stoppies you can work on. Alright, now what is a stoppie? A stoppie is when you just put on your front brake and basically do like a small endo and your back wheel comes up. It's pretty cool, looks really cool. You can impress your friends. It's also a lot of fun. You can do other advanced little tricks with it. I always remember what first got me into stoppies. I was at my first race back in 1999. I was 12 years old in Big Bear, California, and I was watching the pro men's downhill. And I remember seeing Miles Rockwell come hauling into the finish, and it had this long pavement finish line, and he did a clean rolling stoppie with the no footer, and I was like, man, that's sick. And right after that I started practicing, got home, started practicing, and it became one of my favorite tricks to do for a while until I really got better at jumping and then moved on to jumping tricks. But I've always loved doing stoppies. There's so many variations and combinations you can do with it. Once you learn it, you're gonna always find yourself doing it on every ride. Finding a little downhill you can do a rolling stoppie on. Now where to start learning them and to practice? Right now I'm at this paved road. That's gonna give you good traction. So if you're on dirt when you're first learning and you apply your front brake, you might just lock up your front wheel and start skidding or not properly get it up. So practicing on some cement or pavement can really help you get the proper braking down. Another thing you might want to take into effect, I mean, I don't really have it too much available where I am right now, but like if you could do this at a park where after the cement you have some grass, or even here there's some bushes, so just in case you do go over too much and go over the bars, you're not going to slam right into the cement. Even if it's just some dirt at the end of the pavement or whatever, just keep yourself from falling on the pavement. Now as far as braking, once you hit your brakes and you got the back end off the ground, you're not just gonna hold on to the brakes locked like that. You're gonna kind of have to modulate your braking depending on how far high your back wheel is. If it's too low, press your brakes a little harder. If your back end is getting too high and you feel you're gonna go over the bars, then ease up on the brakes. So you're gonna wanna be modulating them as you're doing the stoppie. Alright, now as far as speed for learning the stoppie, you want to start out like a walking pace. You don't want to be going too fast, but you don't want to go too slow either. So just a nice steady pace, that's going to be good to get the back wheel up off the ground. And as you progress, you can go a little bit faster, and then we can move on to rolling stoppies. Now another thing that can help when you're starting to learn the stoppie is finding like a crack in the ground, or if you're in the dirt, just drawing a little line, something to give you a visual marker of where you're going to initiate the stoppie. That can really help you just get an idea of, okay, at that line, that's when I'm going to start applying my brake and initiate the stoppie. Now you're going to want your seat raised a little bit, not all the way high, but you don't want it all the way down either. I mean, you can do stoppies standing up, but I found that once you do get into the stoppie, if you sit down, you're gonna have better bike control, because when you do it, you kind of have a tendency to have the back end go to one side. So if you sit down, once your rear wheel's up, it's gonna help keep the bike aligned and straight. Now, should you be doing it on flat ground, a slight downhill, either one will work just fine. I found that a slight downhill can help make it easier to get the back wheel up off the ground. So if you can find a slight downhill, that's good. If you only got flat stuff or feel safer practicing on flat ground, that's fine too. Either way, you're gonna be able to get the stoppie down. Now as far as body position goes, you're gonna wanna be leaning forward slightly. You don't want your weight totally over the bars, but you also don't wanna be back too far, or else it's gonna be really hard to get the back wheel off the ground. So roll at a steady pace. As you're getting ready to initiate the stoppie, start leaning forward. You want your arms slightly bent, but you don't want them totally bent, but you also don't want them stiff either. Now some common problems you might run into when trying the stoppie is you may not press your front brake hard enough, you might not be leaning forward enough, and that's going to cause your back wheel to not really get up off the ground. So Now right there where I did the stoppie, my feet slipped off the pedals. That can happen, don't worry about it. Also, as far as pedals, I would recommend doing this with flat pedals. If you have clipless, that's fine. You may want to unclip when you first start, just in case you bail, you're not going to be stuck to the bike. All right, so now for bailing. There may come a time when you're gonna get too far forward on the bike and you're not able to get the back wheel down by releasing the front brake or even leaning back. And in that case, you're gonna have to just jump off the front. You don't wanna just freeze up and face plant. That's not gonna be fun. So yeah, if that happens, just casually jump off the front of the bike, throw the handlebars under your legs and just run it out or walk it out. All right, now once you get comfortable doing the regular stoppie and you can come to a complete stop, almost stall with your back wheel up, you're confident with it, feel comfortable, you might want to move on to a rolling stoppie. Now a rolling stoppie, you're basically just gonna roll along on your front wheel as far as you can. Now you can do this a couple different ways. You can just pedal really fast, go at a good jogging or almost running pace and do the stoppie. Or something that I find that's a lot easier and fun is whenever you find like a little steep downhill, just start doing the stoppie and you're going to want to be modulating your braking. So if you feel yourself starting to get too far forward, like you're about to go over the bars, ease up on the brakes. If the back wheel starts to drop a little bit, apply the front brake a little bit harder. So it's almost like when you're doing a regular wheelie, you're modulating your braking to keep the front wheel up. Well, same concept, except this time you're riding on your front wheel with the back end up. So yeah, you're gonna wanna be modulating your braking, adjusting to how high your back end gets. Right here, we have this little downhill. It's not super steep, but it's not flat either. And then at the bottom, we got all this nice grass. So just in case we do go over the bars, we're gonna have something soft to crash into. Alright, well if this stoppie video helped you, give it a like, comment, subscribe for more weekly MTB how-to videos.